zamli cho the gansa shube Geshe simo yo la la ya chamde tash dele shuya ta diring nyen do di chu so gan shuba yana number the khense dar Geshe Lhakdor cho ne Himalaya benzo khana zo shenje zo la mikje inge da bege ni ge thone kalop sungshe ta jo jene na ka jinyen ba chamba chik Geshe simo nam ji chanam do singbi shuya ye dia senji de sikyu manye ba na ro na tu ji che
and the ngal thokti ro isdura
the inji ngal tanda
let's say okay
three mix go chumbo mangbo do
let's say so my confusion is that because I lived in India for a long time and I was in a Jain monastery, I had the privilege of studying Buddhism. But when I came here, I had also got the opportunity to go to college and I studied psychology.
Very good.
And recently we had a secular ethics in Qigong as well. So when I think about it, I feel like Buddhism, psychology, and secular ethics are all same. However, people are saying it's different. And I was wondering what are the similarities and difference in these three topics? Jana.
Now, when you compare secular ethics with Buddhism, secular ethics is only for this life. Secular ethics has a universal language. The very reason we develop secular ethics. I mean, these days we don't use this word even, secular ethics we don't use very much. We use the word C learning, social, emotional, ethical learning. Because when secularism started, when there was separation between the state and the church did not like this separation. So they at that time, people did not like secularism because they say so-called secularism is against church, against religion. So a little bit of that thinking is still there. And especially you are not supposed to teach secular ethics in schools. Universities, okay. Right? So therefore, as I said, secular ethics is just for this life. And the very reason His Holiness is talking so much about this sea learning is that whether you are a believer of any religion or not, or you may be non-believer, or you may be even anti or anti, some say anti, some say anti, you may be anti-religion. But still you need basic human qualities like love, compassion, patience, tolerance. This is nothing to do with religion. This is our survival, basic kind of human needs. So therefore, secular ethics is talking about those universal values applicable to everybody. Now this does not mean to say you cannot draw any inspiration from religions. You can draw what we call as the golden rules from all the religious teachings. Golden rules means rules that is applicable to everybody. So in short, secular ethics is for this life and it's for everybody. Buddhism has, of course, many similarities with secular ethics, but it talks about shunyata, emptiness, which you cannot teach in secular ethics. It talks about past and future lives. This is very religious subject. So those things you can't teach in secular ethics. So that's the difference. Now if you talk about psychology, again you have to make it clear, are you talking about Buddhist psychology or Western psychology? In general. So in general, again when you talk about Buddhist psychology, it's of course very much related to the Buddhist teaching. It's primarily, the main focus is how to deal with the destructive negative emotions. The modern psychology is more about how to deal with the day-to-day problems, how to deal with the depression, how to deal with the loneliness, So it's tailored to the needs of many things, right? So there's again a big difference. Okay? Yeah.
You said the most important thing is cultivating our mind and practicing compassion towards others. I'm just wondering what advice you have for youth in terms of taking these steps, especially when we encounter negative emotions like anger or ego. What steps can we take to cultivate our mind?
one very important thing the youths must keep in mind is when we talk about importance of cultivation of compassion and loving kindness, this should not be seen as a sign of weakness. Rather, when you develop genuine compassion and loving kindness, you really become realistic, you develop larger perspective, and you become more bold to deal with actual situation without letting yourself controlled by the negative emotions. That's important because sometimes people think, okay, if you continue to develop loving kindness and compassion, then even in the class, the bullies will bully you. Develop love and compassion, but be strong. You have every right to be strong. To be strong is not negative. And there is every right for you to become strong because you are not doing anything bad. You are developing love, you are developing compassion, So you are strong. And then with those other questions, how youths develop these positive emotions, remove negative emotions, this should be done based on your personal analysis, personal examination. For example, anger. Whether you should develop anger or not, you should see. You should do some experiment, do some research and see whether anger is good or bad. For example, is there anybody who right in the morning makes a motivation saying that I will get angry today? Right in the morning, when you go to the school, I'll be angry today. Is there anybody? No. So you already have some idea anger is not good. Then in the course of the day, you might meet again strange people, bad people. You might get angry and have a fight with that person. Then in the end of the day, when you come home and look back and realize that you fought with somebody, then is there anybody again who say that today I fought with somebody, so I really enjoyed the day? Madua. Then when you develop angry, you become ugly. Is there anybody who wants to become ugly? And the worst thing is when you develop anger, you become crazy, you become mad. Do you want to become mad? So like that, what I'm trying to say is like that, each of these emotions, you should see how good these emotions are for you. Long term, short term, everything. See that, then you will be able to find out how good these negative emotions are or how bad these negative emotions are. This one. Is that clear? Don't just do it because Buddha says or somebody teaches, things like that. Examine it, judge it. And then if you really find that this is useful, then have it. If it's not useful, then discard it. Right? So that's important. Okay, any other questions? Yeah.
Chinda tiwa yu samare Geshe la ani ta changme kinse re ni ta lo permisi lo mang dos ne tin nang chu lo mien nang chu ne tin yong sa ba kwan re di ni ne nga tiwa chi yu di shu cho wa chi la ta di di long guru pe ma june lo be ru che pyo kanje gi jong la ta 가딘 첨부 임바디 다 용다라는 좀 세우도 그렇지 다 배낭하나도 전조를 잘왜 까불 임베이네 줄라강을 경고를 붙이기 아니 그 개체쇼나는 야더니 다 다자기 또좀 된데다 되네 다가는 심어 물은 붙이 되네 제네스기 그 군의 도스니 열와라 들려다 보면 그 간제 종까지 세우래 다 되네 낭받지려야 어느 물은 붙이 가딘 첨부 임바 즉 안에 도스니 지금 선대 비토네 아니야 상식 도스니 제소 디토라 낭받질이야다 구루무치 가딘 첨부 임바디 가데 있는지 돌든지 가능 나셔야.
So whether it's Guru Pema Sambhava or any other great teacher like Atisha or Nagarjuna or whoever they are, their purpose is to serve all sentient beings. So when their purpose is to serve all sentient beings, there's no question about they are having the wish to serve all the Buddhists. 이 말에 되다. 이 말에. 낭바치스나 심진질의 지세링도 낭바질의 이 바로.
얘기하는데 뒤거지와 카세우 직전에 잘 매워다. 가르치면 수요일나 땅은 저기 나랜다 줄라 칸려야다. 치료보다 남바 엔도스네 도스네 다지 최고에 저거도 중에 가오야. 이니 칸도 수가 세디게 예민고 너변배만 주네. 이렇게 하나 근데 이 지도선을 견제해줘라. 이 때문에 가는 거나.
어디 니들도 저런 야가서 보고 하고. 그러면 배나 샤샤나 로베베만 중내기 배마가다래 네 야고가다래 산디가다래 주모가다래 롬보가다래 그래서 상관하는 로인들 그 템바치를 팽게다 무스디 비송나서도서다 벽한제종을 레디 졸 심진질을 팽에다 망바질을 팽게다 세우시고도와 이 가르로는 하고 다지마도 마시다 시에마도 야 세우시고지 시에메. Any other question from the smart younger generation? I'm almost like saying as if I'm in a boxing ring. 들어요. 그래서 말이야.
Nga try to and try to call in and nga past recent year anxiously Mongol chaudra any solution karo yoro
Anxious.
yeah become so anxious about past recent years, so I want to know there's
Anxious
any,
about what?
anxious about anything like any situations in general.
Ah.
So I just wondering if there's any alternative method for or solution for this.
I think the important thing is, as I mentioned already, you need to be relaxed and calm, right? And do not expect too much about anything. There are certain things about which you need to have interest, of course, so that way you may be a little bit anxious about it, but there is no point to be anxious about everything, right? But easier said than done. If this feeling of anxiousness is coming automatically, then maybe you need to take more rest and see whether you are getting good sleep or not, right? So there are many conditions. And then also enjoy your life, doing something that you really like, divert your attention. That will, I think, help you reduce your, unclear feeling of anxiousness towards all kind of things. If you focus and divert your attention to those things on which you are more interested, that will help you remove many of this anxious feeling towards other subjects. Does that make sense? Yeah. And take good sleep. I'm sure you're getting good sleep. Yeah. Ni kugalo ya kugurda. Tele che ni magu je ne sangi de war damende te ngol.
우리 들레기실라 저것도 고열당이 말아 이 세세 돈인데 싫어 싶지매 내가 나 돈이 인데 거리지 쉬어야서는 기실라다 지난인다 원하는 미 장관단이 찍는다 말아 배번하는 소대 말아 찍 와 찍승인데 야면은 찍면은 잘라만 고주 그거 쓰더라 네 내가 이런데 저거지 가이 쉬어야 가이 있으면 기실라 이제 말한테 싸워 있는 배짱은 러시아에서 두고요 기실라 가토도지 다른 도저 땅원나 신시 가린 장원나 신시 로다 레시 페토나 언제라 마코와 마통와 마시와 망고지 오늘 때문에 차도도 딩이 이런데 이 뭔가 도저 뜬지 도저 새로지 딩이 이런데 친구지 가든지
저랑은 남들 되게 땅 그거. 찜을래. 비즈니스 클래스. 맞다. Tangwa namri ticket tango si tangi la sama. Business class la test sketching. Achimulai dinde labgen do. Ina ngeta kelen juma dinde chene nga de takwa yung thu re se labgi me nga de yung ne huge phendo yo se nge higme. Ina ngando changme ge haru boru che pe kechim boru da haru boru chene. Eni jimi je yung matur na thadol organize che yorwa. Then organize chedu yande organize yakbo chene. Mi gemba da hyamba changma regulu ge dinde member che ko nyege da su nyene nye chugurwa. Dyun le tøne tewa dang chedu so yang gemba ina gemba khapdang su. Hyamba ina hyamba khoran su la yang inji ganda tinde ina khogab che. 독신의 수혜여로 버루 딱 맞지고 제생마다 현다 개발 망고여 두두고 된데서 애네들 조시대 딱 버리지 찍으라면서 셴 낭중 어디 치러서 된데 장장 라마데 셴 요와 나도 뭐마 된데 중으로 장고로 지까나 낭중 어디 제도 세대 된데 배 lok하지 낭중 어디 장장 셴 도들 근데 어디 제리 여기 거도나 가 된데 많이 받잖아 고 낭중 어디 제보다 약고를 돼 때씩 조시 가르쳐내는 지금 땡이 약고 신송세지 조시 현다 개개매 장주샘 찍고 있는데 아스트리 현다 개개매 디신 디지고 신선들 약고 쇼차르던 주마 장주샘세도 그들로 되어요 여러분 근데 제마데 동이다고 싫어인다 디제마데 닝제인다 여러분 독신 도기나 간다 장과 디다 디레샤스지 가나가도 힘을 그래 디신을 또래고 그래 여러분 디 마신나 되네 야 샤라게 자사바나시 시도와 야 샤라게 미 통고야 말와 when you study Buddhism what I am saying is when you study Buddhism it should not be like the blind yak eating grass when the blind yak eats grass he is not sure where is the main grass so he would like little bit here 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 when you study Buddhism then you be focused and understand at least one thing what is compassion make it very clear then next time proceed to wisdom understand shunyata or patience understand that when you understand one subject it will inspire you to study other subjects Mumanga Switzerland didn't say when many years back I visited Switzerland Tibetan community so like this I was giving talks then I told them first of all you should remove all your misconceptions because many of you don't know me, you may have the misconception that he is a great Tibetan Lama. I'm not great, I'm not Tibetan Lama. And they may also be expecting Sungdu Jarana Samne. I have no Sungdu, nothing. And I said, I'm here to run class. I'm going to teach, I'm going to ask you questions, you need to answer. Ngiti lavimba, ngitiwatangre lenjavore lavimba. Dule de polo molo kaje je cross je pungsu je do ningje tawatang de shebala le do o dinde chebore kamuru mo jang se sungu do ta keno su te juro tang gor da ji lama ni sawan shu ji hin je ya ko ni re ro ina ke che sho de damnga ling su de cheba se de tawatang de len ha ko che ti singi mena di khare se di mala che theba je de ne Any kecha lama ki chuzu chingni shena dewa wing se do de gre ro en thama de che me che ro ti mo che tewa dang ene nangche chigbu mari henda mangbo le tewa dang shin gor dil de ne lo jo mangbo shin pen thanda chana su de do yena mena de yore San Francisco there is a very beautiful museum have you visited that exploratorium Demdon kan chenpo chigara, ngazu den doyin, demdon chigara doyin. Tudun demdon sugen korona ge, migyu korona karesana, ta dinan dona gemba da hyoma sangma yungore de. Everybody comes there. Children, elderly people, everybody comes there. So there's something for everybody to fiddle with. Takje che, khandi che wala si chik, penzemo se, dire sueshio. De jumze karesana, dinde che ne, kari thola ina, lamsan ke malen che ne, tiwa tangye chik, koshin tangye chik, hinye tuandala. Tendegi tawne chapsige njurwa tang tuwe ki samlu ligi rese dire dowa idea pe haku dowa o tere chidi inchi menchi tewa tang len teba chen yan tewa tang ne pacho di len ma tuwe cho mundu di lawe yo marada lamsa yang ngazi tewa tang di nga je dowa chiga che tewa tang ko len mu dowa se di len da sula yo marada chabzang chi duk se duju re da rwa inchi menchi len da su zu ze tewa tang land injimiji mig yone yakore mena susu land jam tu sinro injimiji che wor tima to ma deba khorana che ne du ge jabsu chinji de dena yakodara wa ina dengsa tujul dik pheng mare da mig deba theyu gore ne kharla ga jo sanje chu gindu kunjo sumla ije yoyosla ani chu di ije de le mata ne ke chigi sena ke je sho le gere da mi gemba mangboji chu dinde khare da sanje chu gindu sumde hibi chigdo rishi jabcho sena jeyo mar dine chu siram do ata gojen odi ti shemba che go da inji gunji so yeah next
gela Kalere Gala Dua.
hello where are you oh yeah long the kuch
Long Gela. The Gala Ramayan Mahabharata Domang Boywa.
oh yeah
Ani Hanuman Gita Lankala Doni Ne Parore Ram Gi Ravan La Dende Sere Landu Mangoywa.
oh rewa
Ani Dinzotemo Dinzotati Wala Oh Denderesha Ani Jela Jai Hanuman Gyana Gun Sagar La Dila Nanu Nisim Shuke Dua. Oh Hanuman Gala Kyap Gire Ngati Stop Chamber Chaso Dila Duala Heve Nano Duksta Duala Peja Dinzolo Yo Go Mindu Ra Lokde Dinzolo Duala Loka Tu Duna Go Mindu Da Heva Nano Dum Dende Yera Oh Nyama Nyama Heva Gi Hanuman Giraman La Dende Shishi Yera Chishe
yore yoda ta yore denguma phele technology dan de ya ko yamarwa ta dingsa technology de thyo pe ya ko do dingsa technology de de ta so gore so ye mang go ya pe na ngo link dong de da link keser ge dong de da ne xiu do wa pa wo lo go chim bo ta phe ne so do wa de dong mang bu odi sik da ro dile de no lo ji ge yo na ene link keser chik bu marda link padu se de pe mango yore link keser singin do den dema singin do ro tik tik link pawo hiu de mango yore o du so da bebe ge da chö ran thega ina mena ka je bebe ri hyung ta chim bo hiu ro wa lo tindel de ne lo ji ge yo na ta ina chö che ran ina da ko tinde ge khobdo ge jumje shira ma thong ne lo je tan da mare ina da chö da chara le de dembare chö ge labdan de ting so remote density ngoma de nangju na yore pen sipa kholu dowa wheel of life that is the first art commissioned by Buddha himself odil de hi hiu jawe dowa khande khulu yeme de daga na sing ngo to tai ta je se de dowa daga na sing ge tai ji se de dowa rowa da tinde ge mango yore da thing when somebody publish a book whole book on Tibetan culture, whole book with illustrations and explanations. But they chat out with you. That does not lie to not say. Any Kechacho, I got your point. The Kechacho, the person, I want to go to the Tayo, what they so good in Jimmy. But unfortunately, I don't know how to make a movie, you know. So if some of you are interested, then please come with me. We'll make a movie. Oh yeah. Any time they did that, the room suina, Mune suina, Punangi Pau Pedicata Checo Suchung Rest Tire. Suinsere. You're a poja.
Cherry Tony Bow, the drink Virginia.
That's not true. The Gita Yamara, Pau Checo, the Suris, Pau Yore, Pau Yonamena, Kitachimo, the Millareva race lover. Oh, that Millareva get that room capture your the illustration your or do the tower. Do the Yorda Lonye. Young Rashing was attending 11 not hearing. I was you and I was thinking with the one. Millareva get the Mangus are the Pasora, the remove Mangutan Sadua. Movie so do a Taviarwa. The layer that Cheta de Wachons to Tivati. That under alle Sarva Sway Passion, you never do so compile che, Suzuhakoche. In the library, in Dharamsala, few years back, I started collecting all the documentaries on Tibet, and I managed to collect so far over 800 short movies and documentaries on Tibet. So like that, you can collect, Oh, yeah. All is well way.
Geshe. You had said earlier that one of the main parts of accepting Buddhism is accepting emptiness. I think, especially in today's society, we're very afraid of emptiness. There's always the phone in the hand, there's always YouTube, TV, there's so many distractions. So I was wondering if you could speak to, what is emptiness and how we can accept it in our day-to-day life.
I did not exactly use the word accepting emptiness, but I used the importance of cultivation of bodhicitta and wisdom understanding emptiness. This is a good question. Basically, what I'm saying is foundation of Buddhism is law of nature. You must understand this very well. The foundation of Buddhism is law of nature. Law of nature is not made by Buddha. It is as it is there, law of nature. So the teaching of Buddhism is in harmony with the law of nature. Emptiness is, whether Buddhas come or not, emptiness is there because it's law of nature. Now we need to talk about it because it's law of nature, but we don't look at it. There are many things which is important, but we don't look at it. So Buddha is saying, okay, if you don't want suffering, you need to look at these things. Rawa. So emptiness is basically the most important, ultimate law of nature. So which means few things. Now listen to this very carefully. Things exist. Rawa. You are there, I am here, books are here, so many things. Things exist. We are not saying things don't exist. When things exist, there are two ways of existence only. There's no third possibility. Either they should exist dependently or they should exist independently. There's no third possibility. Because dependent existence and independent existence, they are mutually exclusive. There's no third possibility. Right? So now you figure that out by yourself. I said things exist, there are only two possibilities. So which one you would like to accept? Things exist dependently or independently? Answer. Things exist dependently or independently? For example, these books that you see on the shelf, do you think they exist dependently or independently?
Dependently.
Dependently, and then you yourself? Dependently? That's it. So things exist dependently, therefore there is no independent existence. So emptiness means empty of independent existence. Because things exist dependently, there is no independent existence. Therefore emptiness means not nothingness, emptiness means empty of independent existence. Now the next important question is, okay, that may be true, but why should I bother my head trying to understand this very difficult topic called emptiness? The reason is you need to understand this because to our ordinary, unquestioning mind, we tend to see things as having independent existence. Because of this, we develop attachment. If you like somebody, wow, 100% good, you get obsessed. If you don't like somebody, wow, this is so ugly, 100% negative. Then you develop hatred and anger. And when you develop these negative emotions, of course you get suffering. Right? That's the reason. I'll give you an example. For example, this question is very difficult. The concept of emptiness is difficult. Therefore, somebody asked Buddha, what is your best example to explain emptiness? He said, my best example is the space. What is space? Space is nothing but mere absence of obstruction. So emptiness is nothing but mere absence of independent existence. And what is the benefit of knowing that? Benefit of knowing that is, as I said, you don't develop grasping, you don't develop attachment, you don't develop anger. The example is, for example, in the space, the birds fly to and fro, hither and thither all the time. But have you seen any bird building a nest in the space? Have you seen any bird building a nest? You see what you saw what? Oh, please catch that bird and show me. Oh yeah, right. So like that bird, not making a plan or not trying to build a nest in the space. Once we understand emptiness is space, we'll not develop any of these graspings. Right? This is just a rough explanation, but you need to think more. Yeah. Lasso, any?
nangba member nangba mangche chigi sangye chomde de gi chue de meditation do chi liang wo jing do zu lia chi sa da wo shi ba su tu ne 근데 기실라 있잖아 전에 장지다 수고로
그래.
아니 보다 후를 내야 메디테이션에 레하유나 장지 같이 미몽부지 로스미다 쓰는데 몽부
말해 듣지 말해. I got your point. Our question is, many people these days talk about meditation and mindfulness as if this is the most important thing. And Geshe, you spoke about compassion and love as the most important thing. How would you explain this? Is it possible to just meditate and without compassion and love achieve Buddhahood? This is a little bit misunderstanding. Because when we talk about meditation, we are talking about meditating on all the positive qualities. Meditation is not just sitting here and then you get enlightened. No. You meditate, of course, but meditate on love, meditate on compassion, meditate on patience, meditate on forgiveness, meditate on emptiness, all these aspects. And then you get enlightenment. So meditation, now the important thing is develop a very good understanding of meaning of meditation. Meditation is not sitting in a corner closing your eye with certain physical postures. Meditation means making your mind habituated with positive qualities. Why? Because until now, our mind is habituated with negative emotions. Because of we are suffering, we don't want to suffer. So therefore now you are saying, okay, I don't want to meditate on negative emotions. I want to meditate on positive emotions. So meditation basically means getting habituated. Habituated means it's not enough just do one meditation. You need to do it regularly, practice it again and again, practice it again and again, so that gradually you become well versed with that. That quality, like love and compassion, come to your mind automatically. That's what you need to do. Now, oh yeah, any
슌지 디 가서는 아주 표시해야 돼. 신용 맞다는 중지기다. 아니 아주 표시를 내고로.
그래.
딱 단대 슌지 좀 마음 배안도 써져 있는 선자 인력에다 그저 지 개개의 뭐 로트 쳐져 숨지기나 아주 외부 쳐져 희체와 제거야기다. 로트 제발 다 제거야기. 그 랑들당 니 마음에 선자 인들 아니 지난 좀 로트 미리 제발 다가 저자 상주되 미리 제발 다가 제거야기. 그 이제 돈 주거나.
This question is since we all know Tibet lost its country and independence because of lack of education, especially lack of modern education. So now in exile we have this opportunity to go to schools and colleges, universities. So therefore it's not enough that you get this opportunity to study, but you should study doubly hard. Little bit different from those people who are It's asking me to how would you encourage the younger generation to study more than those students who live in free, independent countries. Again, I don't want to tax the brain of the younger generation. As I said earlier, I want my younger generation to study happily. I don't want to burden you, but at the same time, it's important to know the fact that we have lost our country, and our country is captured by the communist China. The communist China. The problem is the communist leaders is they have mouth, no ear. Right? They have mouth, no ear. What does that mean? That means they don't listen to our problem. They only give lectures. They have mouth, no ear. Right? So therefore it is important on our part to educate ourselves, both with the modern education and traditional education, so that our presence is felt all over the world. Papa Duade, smart Tibetan there, smart younger generation there, Papa Mango, the Chinese leaders will be compelled to talk to us. So we need to empower ourselves happily, not as a burden, but happily, as a special opportunity. If you are living in a free country, you don't have this opportunity. Now, because of the situation, you have this opportunity to do something for your country, something for your culture, to make yourself proud for this country, for this culture. This is opportunity. So take it as a happy opportunity, great responsibility, not as a burden. I'll tell you a story of Milarepa, I don't know whether many of you have read about it or not. When Milarepa's father died, then just when he was on his deathbed, the father called Milarepa's uncle and aunt, and since now I'm dying, and Milarepa and his sister and the mother, only 3 of them are there, so they may not be able to look after themselves. So he requested the uncle and aunt, please take good care of them. And then the father, with that testament, he died. After that, the uncle and aunt turned out to be horrible uncle and aunt. They took seize of all the property of the mother and the Milarepa sister, and enslaved the mother, and the sister and Milarepa could not go to school and things like that. So mother was very, very upset. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. It's very interesting, you should read it. And then finally the mother, out of desperation, she called Milarepa and said, now my son, you go and learn black magic to revenge the wrongdoings of the uncle and the aunt. And if you don't go there and become expert in black magic and unable to revenge, I will commit suicide right in front of you. The mother was very strong. And then as a kind of parting advice, she said, with Milarepa there were other students going to learn black magic. Among them there were some children, youths who were from rich family. So as a parting advice, she said, these other youths who are going with you to learn black magic, if they can learn, it's okay. If they are unable to learn, it's okay, because they belong to rich family. But in our case, you know how we are mistreated by the uncle and the aunt, and if you come without getting properly trained in black magic and could not revenge, I will commit suicide in front of you. So I'm not saying you should commit suicide, but what I'm saying is, just like this parting advice, we are in a different situation. Therefore, we need to study a little bit more hard, but not as a burden, but as a great opportunity to preserve our culture. That's all. Otherwise, we'll stop. So anyway, finally, what I would like to do, just say, you wait,
교보직
tell him.
뭔가라 나 기아가 돼야 기아가 돼야
When are you going?
방금 다리 니슈상이
Anyway.
발라다 안나나 세바 중이다 지에들라서 but what are the 12 places?
Correct?
Like 세바 중이디 like what are the 12 places?
Sewa Chungi different.
not seven. Like the 12 most like important places in like
12 most important places.
from Buddha's lifetime.
Ale
Like a crash course.
Zebachungi is not a place. 12 deeds of Buddha is his activities. Then Neza Chimbodin Yusena, and Neza Chimbodna took the years and Tonga Madama Dua. And the Doji de Yangwachin, Lumbini, that is a Lagiora, the Dina Meva, Dharamsala. Wherever you feel comfortable, you go there. Most important thing is don't just keep on visiting places, but study. Study. Of course, you can go, but make sure you don't get sick. Just going and inhaling the dust, So, take rest, visit a place, then study a little bit. Study, that's very important. Study about that particular area. Yeah, take it simple. So finally, what I would like to, say is today's topic was on development. So in terms of development, of course, we need material development as well as spiritual, cultural development. Material development, we are all to some extent trying, but that's far from enough. Unless you have this cultural sensitivity, unless you have this spiritual awakening, it is impossible to get settled down. Settled down is the right word. So settled down means, there is a very famous teaching by Nagarjuna. He says that if you really want to get settled in life, help others. I mean, it's such a powerful teaching. If you really, normally we say, okay, I buy a house, I'm settled. No. So Nagarjuna says, if you really want to get established, get settled, help others. Rangi tingzu doba yi henji pen la zombracha. Tingzu jorwa majebe duba poi chi medus. If you miss this one thing of helping others, then you're not doing proper work. And Martin Luther King, he said like this, we can all become great because we can all help. 너도 상마 미쳐보 자도 그랬어. 상마 전부 가르 자도 그래. 상마 너도 편도 시도 그랬어. 근데 야고도 그 남과 말다 is not a Buddhist. The way to become great person is whether other people call you a great person or not great, that's not important. What's important, if you have this love and compassion, help other people, you are a great person. If you don't have that, then you may be a billionaire, you may be walking on the moon, I don't care. Or you may be very, very busy, I don't care. So are the ants. Tomato so you there, but tomato so you there. You have saying game do. Chule che jamne chona gold medal na ke ha le kha goe mu do nya du sa ta kwa che jam. Wa. Unenda. Mi ke thumo mai me che ju khare se na. Yes, chamse da ro ko che, chamdun che. Tige chamdu. Chamdu me na kaya yunge ya mata. Odu sere. Odu che je. Tige benjo ju chala jang mai ba che ni. Sem gi hide to yer ge le. Odi korda. If you have this inner resources, whenever you face problem, you will be able to deal with it. If you don't have this inner resource, material facilities will leave you alone. Relatives will also leave you. They'll also go, they'll also die, they'll also go to other countries. Things like that. So therefore, the most important thing is developing these inner values. You call it Buddhism, you call it secular ethics, whatever you call it, develop these inner values. And develop love, loving kindness, unconditional loving kindness. Because love is a quality which the blind can see and the deaf can hear. Love is a quality which the blind can see and the deaf can hear. Right? Okay, thank you. Thank you.